Thank you. Mr. Checker, on that topic of Somalia, let's turn to Somalia's neighbor, Somaliland. Somaliland is a geostrategic U.S. maritime security partner in Africa. It sits along the Gulf of Aden, near one of the world's busiest shipping corridors, and its forces actively contribute to counterterrorism and anti-piracy missions. Somaliland stands with our allies, including Taiwan and Israel, and aligns with U.S. interests in a region where China is aggressively expanding. Most recently, Israel's decision to formally recognize Somaliland in December 2025 underscores its growing strategic relevance. Late last year, General Dagvin Anderson, the U.S. Africa commander, was in Somaliland to meet with Somaliland leadership to assess the security environment and to review Berbera Port's operational capacity. This is the kind of partner we should be encouraging, and one that will shape how we confront CT challenges in the Horn of Africa. Last summer, I sent a letter to President Trump urging formal recognition of Somaliland. Unsurprisingly, the Chinese Communist Party immediately condemned my letter, which only shows how important Somaliland is to U.S. national security. Critics argue that recognizing Somaliland could introduce new CT risks or undermine our posture in Mogadishu. I would argue the opposite. Working with a capable, willing partner like Somaliland strengthens our CT posture, particularly when Somalia itself continues to struggle with instability and persistent terrorist threats. Two questions. How do you assess Somaliland's role today in contributing to regional security, particularly in CT operations?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I certainly agree with you that Somaliland has been a very good partner, CT and otherwise, with the United States. We've had a positive relationship with both them and other member states. But the policy of the administration for now is that we do continue to recognize, as you know, the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the federal government of Somalia. But within that framework, we still do obviously look for opportunities to deepen our cooperation with Somaliland.
Well, and let me follow up on that then. What opportunities exist for the U.S. to deepen security cooperation with Somaliland, such as basing, intelligence sharing, maritime domain awareness, et cetera?
I would have to defer to my colleagues, General Anderson and others at AFRICOM and the IC to speak a little bit more to that, unless, I'd have to refer to you for them on what specifically we could be doing in addition.
So I recognize the decision whether to recognize Somaliland or not is not a decision for you to make. But let me ask you this. If the United States were to recognize Somaliland, what do you think the effect would be?
I would have to refer you to the intelligence community and others for an assessment on the implications of that decision.
Well, I think the implications would be we would be strengthening an ally, and I think clarity is powerfully effective in foreign policy and national security, and I think that is an approach that President Trump has embodied. So I have a high level of optimism that by the end of this term, President Trump will recognize Somaliland, and I think that would enhance U.S. national security. And if you doubt that, take a look at the Chinese Communist Party's hysterical reaction to my urging that recognition. To quote the bard, methinks she doth protest too much. And any time President Xi is hysterically upset at something, that tells you may be on to the right direction.